Yep.
All right. How's it going? My magnificent sons of bitches. I got Stephen Rose here with me on this side right here, probably. Uh, the link to his channel is in the description, so go ahead and check out his channel. We're going to be sitting there giving you a little bit of what we think about this Israel thing. I'm going to let Stephen kick it off. Um, and because you kind of filled me in on the news and the research. I tell you, a lot of this shit is staged from Twitter,
Okay.
but you kind of like broke down some of the stuff because you've probably been following it a little bit closer than
Yeah, of course, I love to follow it, man. And really, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I got to give you a shout out, Prodigal Hill, because over the years, I would just watch your videos, and I would be like, this guy's insane. He needs to just get off of YouTube. This guy's annoying. He's a troll. And ever since, are you still on?
yeah, I'm still on.
Okay, yeah, 'cause I don't see your, I don't see you for some reason. Oh, but anyways,
Yeah,
um, and then over the years, like all the backlash you receive on your videos about your conspiracy theories have all come to life. And there's even other guys on YouTube that low key are coming out and saying, wow, everything Prodigal Hill is saying is coming to truth. Like almost everything. And I give you a personal shout out because you're the one that actually got me into politics. Like I really didn't give a shit about politics. Like I just talked about it here or there, but I really didn't care until I started watching your videos. And then you just inspired me to go and do my own research. Now we may not always agree on everything, and that's the beauty of our friendship is that we can be able to relay information back and forth. But on the consensus basis, from the Civil War all the way up to date, we pretty much agree on everything. And doing my own research and doing politics, and I'm like, I can understand why this is a fun thing to talk about because when it comes to legislation and laws being passed, we definitely need to do our research because it's like ignorance of the law is no excuse. So I need to go out and start researching all this because now our lives are being affected, as you know, with inflation and everything. But going on, the wars going on around the war, like around the world, like what we're going on right now. The thought of World War III, like in your title. I talked to a friend of mine. I want to give Tenacious a shout out. Okay. He's from Cyprus, which I don't know if you know where that country is, Polston or Prodigal Hill.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I know about where it's at, located at.
okay. It's located like it's one of those little islands that are right
Right.
past Israel,
Yeah,
like in
yeah.
between Italy
Over
and all
there
that.
in the
Yeah, yeah,
Israel
yeah.
area.
Well, he DM'd me yesterday, and he had sent me a tweet from Hezbollah and all these sites that are on Twitter, and it said that Yemen declared war on Israel, and that Hezbollah is going to declare war on Israel on Friday. So we were talking about that at Fiesta because everybody's panicking, saying, "Is this a possible World War III?" So, anyways, my buddy from Cyprus, give him a shout out again to the nations. I'll actually send him this link on when I get a chance. He told me that if he fears if Iran jumps in, that it's a possibility that World War III may start. And of course, it all started from the October 7th attacks, as we all knew that Hamas went over the border and like kidnapped like over 250 people or 300 and killed some hostages. And then there's 35 Americans that were killed during the attacks. And also they talked about how they have like 200 American prisoners. Nobody knows their names and all this stuff or the whereabouts or if they're if we're negotiating for their release and all that. I know 35 IDF soldiers died today, a total of over 200 so far since they've entered the Gaza Strip. And, of course, I've been hearing from the leaders of Hamas saying that Israel has no right to be there. They stole the land from Palestine and that they need to turn the land back over. Israel, of course, in the pro West is defiant about all that. They're saying that Israel has a right to be there, blah, blah, blah. My personal opinion is, and I know you're going to give your thoughts to all this since I'm talking right now, I might as well give my opinion. I think that they should do a two-state solution. I think that there should be a way that they can all live together peacefully in that land. But the problem is Hamas wants it to be Palestine. A lot of the Muslim countries around there want that as well. And of course, Israel doesn't want that. And to be honest with you, my thoughts on the whole thing is I'm kind of on both sides of the fence here, but I can kind of understand that the people living in the Gaza Strip, 75% unemployment rate. Many of them don't have access to food or water. Israel does tons of blockades that prevents humanitarian aid from reaching their country. They've been one of the poorest nations, I think one of the top 50 poorest nations in the world. And it's been that way for over 75 years since Gaza Strip has been around. I think they've been around since 2005 or something like that, since Israel awarded them that land or whatever the case was. And like right now, it's just a complete mess. I don't even really know if there's going to be a deal that's going to be done. And what's scary about this is I was talking to Santos and them, and this is where I'm going to get Prodigal Hill's like whole thought about this whole thing. So I don't want to like hog up all the time on here. But Santos, give him a shout out. He works at Fiesta, cool guy. He's from El Salvador, but he's a first generation immigrant here, did it the right way, blah blah blah. But he works hard. So, but anyways, he told me I think we're safe here for now. But he said, but the problem is with all these wars, it's going to have a global impact on the economy, meaning food prices are going to go. Remember, I told you that yesterday in your DM.
Yeah.
The cost of medicine goes up. Gasoline cost is going up. Then probably taxes from having to print up money. So we're going to have to print up probably more money. That's inflation. So it all goes around to all these problems. So really, people keep telling us, there's not going to be a war here in the United States. We're safe. I'm like, we don't really need to drop bombs to destroy the United States. You know what we need to do, Prodigal? Destroy the American dollar, which unfortunately, that's what's happening. So I'm going to let you have the microphone. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and
Mike,
get on here.
Okay.
And
Mike dropped CM Punk bombshell.
Right. So the deal is, right, this is the deal. Okay. I think that, you look at Hamas, we put Hamas in. Hamas was it's like, everybody talks about the Zelensky guy and Svoboda in Ukraine and stuff that we implemented, right? We
implemented him.
Yeah. See, well, it was Barack Obama, but essentially, Biden was behind the scenes, and Biden's been
and all that.
Yeah. So we know that Hamas is the same thing. Hamas was implemented by the same people, essentially. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you look at it, right?
Yeah.
You look at Netanyahu in Israel. They were just 2 weeks before. They were, we need to remove this guy. He's one of the most unpopular candidates in Israel. He was by far very unpopular, just like our president. So, they were trying to beat the war drums with Ukraine. Remember that?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then it went to Armenia and Turkey. And now it's Israel and it's Hamas or Palestine. And you hear genocide talk on from both sides. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really. I'm going to be honest with you. The normal everyday barista worker in Palestine is going to get along a hell of a lot better with the barista worker in Israel than their governments are going to get along. You understand? Yeah. It's not the people that are wanting this war. People all over the world are probably war fatigued because that's all governments do. Really, at the end of the day, that's all they do. They design whenever their popularity is going down, get you to go to war.
Well, it's an elitist war ultimately, right?
Right. And so you already know that this inflation is going to come. It would have come regardless. The inflation was already there because they used their Keynesian style economics. They teach this crap in the this is why I don't believe in any of those fucking student loan forgiveness things, is because the curriculum that they're teaching is not worth the money that is being spent on that curriculum.
Facts.
You understand? So you have people coming out, they're going into these institutions, but they're coming out dumber. A lot of these people don't start to learn anything until after they get out of school. They're damn sure not learning anything when they're in these institutions.
And here's the sad thing about it. I'm gonna let you go on. I'm just gonna interject that it's one thing. I would even make the argument that your public schools don't even teach you nearly as much as you could learn at your local library for $1.75 and change.
Yeah. And so what you have is like nobody has any confidence in the media anymore. And this is one of the good things. This is really kind of what's saving us at the end of the day, is because what do you hear on the media? Oh, it's Trump indictment, 91 indictments, the stupid crap that they say. People are tired of it. People don't want to hear that shit anymore.
Facts.
You have to have oh, well, we need to get into war. They dropped this at the most strategic, convenient time when everybody was watching college football. They knew everybody was going to be watching this TV. They knew you and I was going to watch the Longhorns and the Oklahoma Sooners play football.
Facts.
You know, you dropped it right in the middle of college football while everybody's gearing up for the season and whatnot. And you have all these important games being played. You went ahead and decided, well, why does Hamas get out of it? Why would Hamas attack Israel the way that they did? Whenever that politician over there that nobody likes Netanyahu, from what I'm to understand now. I don't live in Israel, so I don't have a personal opinion. I'm only getting this from what I hear. They don't like him over there.
Who would you compare him to politician-wise here? Would you compare him to a
I don't know. I don't know what he's done in Israel. So it would be
either. I mean, rumors has it they're comparing him to Trump, but I don't really know. They say he has a strong stance like Trump does, but I don't really know.
I mean, he's on a lot of conservative shit.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But the sheer fact is that, you know, neither him nor Biden are popular. That's the issue. You know, whether it's Biden in this country, maybe we ought to do a trade. If he's like Trump, maybe we ought to trade Biden to fucking Israel, and Israel ought to trade Netanyahu over here, and then that would solve everything. But the deal is that neither one of them are that popular. Yeah, they already know, and mind you, that the left will sit there and say, well, everybody's suffering from inflation, you know, and they'll use this stupid rhetoric, you know, like we're not smart enough to go and do our own research.
Facts.
So the deal is that our dollar is the world reserve currency. That's the deal. So whenever they inflated our currency, of course, every other country is going to see inflation. It's a domino effect. They inflate our dollar. They have to have our dollar to buy oil. The value of our dollar goes down, and it screws with their economy.
And that's the point that I want to make. Give Santos a shout out yesterday. He's a conservative dude, pro-Trump guy, and he's a foreigner. You know, he's from El Salvador. One of the things he told me is that people don't understand when they say that the global economy is crashing. He said, understand that the dollar has to collapse in the United States first for it to have a ripple effect worldwide, and that's when you see those inflations. So he tells me every time we send stimuluses, print out stimuluses for project head funds that we don't need, like transgender studies, or printing up stimuluses during the COVID, doing the mandates, the shutdowns, and then sending money to Ukraine and not even having an overseer to see where that money's going. And that's not even including the other countries we get foreign aid to. We have no overseer to see where this money's going. So it just inflates that dollar. So when it inflates that dollar, not only does it have an impact here in the United States, but it automatically by default, because other countries are now, like El Salvador, Honduras is using American currency. This is what Santos told me. He said, we don't even use the peso over there. So Costa Rica, Panama, they use the American dollar. Belize is more of an American tourist attraction. I'm just giving an example of how even countries that are in third world poverty is now starting to convert to the American dollar. Now you crash that American dollar. So it goes to your point. I hate when people say, well, it's happening worldwide. I'm like, yeah, that's because it's happening in the United States. If you cripple the dollar here, it's automatically going to have a worldwide effect.
Right. The left doesn't understand that they're virtual aids. And that the virtual AIDS is spreading all over the world because they're an HIV pandemic, because they don't understand. All right. Because somewhere, well, okay. The fucking people up at top that are pushing these policies, they know absolutely what they're fucking doing. They can no longer plead ignorance, because you know what? People like me, people like Fabian for Liberty, people like Russians Vids, various people here on the internet, a lot of them are not here anymore. A lot of them got their channels taken out. But a lot of people were talking about this shit. Some of them were talking about the shit before I started doing YouTube. You know? So they were over here saying, you know, if we want to go ahead and structure, so you had all these people over here, you know, it's like the single payer system. That's fucking stupid. Nobody's going to go with the single payer system in healthcare, because you're talking about centralizing the medical system, and you can't even run a standard economy from your centralized system. Why would you give you authority over something else? So the left try to sit there and pretend like their position, like somehow their stupidity is equivalent to everybody else trying to be productive members of society. And there's no equivalency there. There's no equivalency with the left. The left needs to just be banished altogether. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Marginalized as much as you can their power in society. And I know that everybody's going to be like, you sound like an elitist yourself, but you've already done so much damage that people need to come in and fix the stuff. If you want to sit there.
And just to know that nothing's free. When Trump printed up the first stimulus, which me and Prodigal sat here and admitted that we both voted Trump in 2020 and admitted it. And the thing was that when the first stimulus was printed, you called it, I called it. I said interest rates are going to go up. They were like, no, they're not. I said, yes, they are, because when we print up money, it's not printing the money that devalues the dollar. If I gave Prodigal Hill $1 million and had $1 million, that's $1 million. So it's not deflating. The problem is the interest rates the banks put on it. So if the banks say, I want 9% interest back, that's what causes the inflation. So every time you print up money or you got to raise a debt ceiling, it continues to raise inflation, thus brings the value of the dollar down. And that's what a lot of people don't seem to understand. I say nothing is free. All those stimuluses, if I could give them back, I would.
Here's the deal, right? Here's the deal, is that Barack Obama got it in his feeble-ass brain that Keynesian economics was somehow, if what they call voodoo economics, the Reagan economics, the supply-side economics. Well, if the tax cuts work, and it generated all this wealth, because, I mean, like I said, fucking Obama is one of these Harvard goofs that think that they know everything. They think their shit don't stink. They think, oh, you know what? I'm so smarter and I'm sophisticated. And I know all these little, all you know is fucking buzzwords. It's all you know. You know how to fucking sound. You got a degree in lexicon, in your lexicon. That's it. That's it. So he's over here talking goofy shit, and everybody's like, "Oh wow, the first well-spoken black man," like fucking John McCain did.
He's the LBGT president. He's
and so he's a diversity hire. Is what the fuck he was. And so like to be honest with you, if I didn't know, if I didn't know shit about his Marxist policies, I probably would have voted for Obama. Because he did talk a pretty fucking good game. He was like, you see the motherfucker, he's kind of likable. However, with that being said,
he's like Bill Clinton. He's like Bill Clinton. They have a very nice persona. Bill Clinton was very liked in the Republican Party too.
Right. And I'm a Rock fan anyway, so he kind of sounds like The Rock. And I've already said that if I didn't know that he was a dipshit, I would have voted for him. But unfortunately, he's sitting there talking about the fucking his fucking heroes and shit like that, talking this commie fucking, millennial shit of holding your fist up and shit. He was that. That was him. So
I call him the welfare president. Don't forget about those BlackBerry cell phones that raised our inflation.
Dude, and so a lot of that
2009.
A lot of that stimulus money, dude, I had to stand security on it, and he was giving them, like, some of them people that were on fucking government subsidies already, that were living on these low dead-end jobs. He was giving some of them $40,000.
Yeah.
And
not to mention, he was closing up our military bases too. My brother's friend, was stationed in Cape May, New Jersey, at a Loran station. He was an electronics technician. So when Obama took office again, he when he won the second election, he shut down many he was in the Coast Guard, but he said, I'm going to shut down all these military bases that aren't doing anything. And they shut the base he was down in, and what they call furlough. I don't know if you remember that furlough when it shut down.
Yeah. Well, like I told you, and I've told you time and time again, that there's a mass fucking military exodus under Obama. I was one of the motherfuckers that left the military. So with that being said, you create all this inflation. He creates fucking years and years and years of inflation. Like, it went from 11 trillion to 30 trillion. So this is why I keep saying, and this is why I keep telling you, that it's going to be at least 4 to 5 more years of inflation. And that just depends on how much they inflate. Like, if it's an extreme inflation year this year, which it very well could be, because I'm telling you, this Israel and Palestine thing, it's a smokescreen. It's a psyop. They're setting you up because, as I've already said, Hamas is working for the same thing as fucking the Svoboda party is in Ukraine. We implemented them. They're a puppet of us.
We also implemented ISIS. We implemented, I believe, wasn't Osama bin Laden working for us? He used to be a former CIA guy.
Yeah, Timothy Osman, and then
Yeah.
Saddam Hussein. It's always the same fucking shit.
Omar Gaddafi.
Right. Until we go in there and take them out, we have to go in there, take them out, and then do all this other stupid stuff because it's the globalists. You know what I'm saying?
We took out Omar Gaddafi. Obama took him out. And you know why?
But yeah, I know why.
He was trying to talk Africa out of getting out of the U.S. dollar.
Yeah, they were all trying to get out of the U.S. dollar. Yeah. They were using the dinar whenever I was over there. But anyways, with that being said, so you know, what do you do whenever your poll numbers are shit, right? What is Biden at, like 37%? You know that there's going to be more inflation. And what Trump did, I would have let him rig the election too. And make no mistake, the election was rigged. There's no fucking way Biden. And this is the one thing that I can't get, like the DeSantis voters. This is why nobody respects you, DeSantis voters. This is why I jumped off that fucking bandwagon. I said, this guy's not going to win.
Okay.
And
talk to me. Why is that? Talk to me. Why is that?
They're going in with the media fucking narrative bullshit. Nobody's going to buy you if you go along with the mainstream media. The media only has like 1% of the fucking population that even gives it any confidence, that fucking traffics their shit. And you're going to sit there and go along with that 1%. You're trying to win over that 1% as opposed to the other 99% of the fucking country.
So what is your issue with DeSantis in particular? You don't like DeSantis, right?
But the DeSantis voters, right? Yeah. So they drop off this thing. They drop off these numbers. And they say, Trump can't win the independent vote. Now, listen to this, right? Listen to this. This is the fucking numbers that dipshit dropped. Not me. This is this is your shit, right? They said, there's 37 million Republican voters, registered voters. There's 49 million Democrat voters, which I don't believe is real. I believe that your numbers are fake, but whatever it is, we'll go with your 49 million Democrat voters, registered Democrats. Well, just for the fuck's sake.
Sake argument.
Right, yeah. And there's 34 million registered independents. So I did the fucking math for him. If you take 37 out of that 74 million that Trump got, according to the fucking people that tell me that Trump got 74 million, that's another 37 million. That means he's +3 with the independent vote. You understand where your numbers are all fucked up at? And it doesn't matter. You talk to a Democrat. Go talk to a Democrat. They tell you that there was 209 registered voters. Well, I just did the fucking math, and that's only 123 million. There's an invention called a calculator. If you enter in the fucking numbers, it'll give you the accurate number of what their total is. If you don't want to do the fucking math yourself.
I may not be a math guy, but I know my calculator.
Yeah. And so I try to explain. Yeah. I try to explain to this motherfucker, right? I'm like, in 2020, 73 million people weren't even old enough to vote. They were still under the age of 18. So that leaves 258 million people in the United States of voting age. And you're going to tell me 81% of that fucking population is registered to vote one way or the other? Absolutely not.
Yeah, facts.
So the issue is that, I would have let Trump, I would have did the same thing because Trump knew that the fucking economy was going to end up going down like this right here.
Yeah, he knew.
And this is the issue that reason why Stephen Rose and myself have an issue with Trump is because he could have repealed that HR 5736, the media propaganda bill. He could have repealed that HR 5181, the internet censorship bill. And then if he would have done that, you don't get any of the Russia. You don't get any rigging of the 2018 election. If he would have held these Democrats accountable like the whole country had, because he had a majority in the Congress, he had a majority in the Senate, and the motherfucker could have passed any of the shit that he wanted to those first 2 years, but he didn't. Why? Yeah. He let the Democrats go ahead and take back both House and Senate in 2018. Which wasn't, they were openly rigging the shit in 2018. Alyssa Milano and her little fucking bluff tooney fucking bus and shit, bussing people around to districts, rigging the Alabama elections.
Oh, yeah.
They were interfering with other people's elections. And they did the shit on Twitter right in front of your face. And then you call me a conspiracy theorist for pointing out the fucking obvious.
Facts.
And so, he allowed that shit to happen. And what happened? You get more stimulus. He allowed them to shut down the economy over some fucking Agenda 21 bullshit, or was it Event 201 bullshit?
Yeah, Event
Fucking
201.
for the fucking, yeah, Event 201, right? You go ahead, shut down the economy so you can print up for more money to collapse our economy. The problem isn't us. The problem is you motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Do we really need to rely on you people and your authority at this point in time? No, we don't.
And check this out. This was also under the Trump administration too. And that's what a lot of people don't seem to understand is when they keep blaming Biden, saying this is Biden's inflation. My response is, well, technically it's Barack Obama and Trump's inflation. And then Biden just followed through. Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. It's all their inflations. It's not just one motherfucker's inflation.
And
by
the record, who do we vote for? Who did you vote for, Prodigal, in 2020 and 2016?
Donald Trump.
Okay, and I voted for him in 2020. So for any of you biased people saying we voted liberal, no, we did not. We didn't vote Democrat. So
no, we didn't at all. So that's why I said, that's why I was getting on that thing to where, if we just get a fucking Republican, true conservatives in there in the Senate, but I don't think it's going to work. But if we got in real conservatives and just kept Biden as a lame duck president, that may actually be better than getting another 4 years of Trump, but it's not going to work. And I can tell you right now.
Go ahead. I can tell you right now what.
But I can tell you right now that those MAGA voters, and they know this. This is why all of a sudden, out of nowhere, because it makes no fucking sense for Hamas to go into Israel, especially whenever their leader is weak anyways. And it could be an issue where they could be overthrowing their own fucking government because it was that close for them to all of a sudden attack and kidnap Israeli women and start raping them and burning babies alive. You see how they go overboard with the shit with their psyops? You see where they go overboard with their propaganda because they need you to go ahead and invest into the shit. But the bad thing is that a number of these people are already kind of familiar with your tricks. We're tired of you conning us. We're tired of you lying to us all the fucking time. You're inflating our economy. Then you dump that money into certain slush funds to send back to yourself. People are really, really getting tired of this shit. So they have to divide the country once again into, which I don't have no dog in the fight. I have, friends that are Muslims and I have friends that are Jewish. You know what I'm saying? Facts. You're saying you got to pick one side or the other. Are you going to be anti-Semitic or are you going to be Islamophobe? Fuck both of y'all. I ain't got nothing to do with either one of y'all.
Either way, you're screwed no matter where you turn.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So I'm not going to join your petty little fucking squabbles and shit because I know it's not going to get anywhere.
Facts.
I mean, and so who are they going to fight this war with? Nobody has any confidence in them. Where's the military at?
Yeah, and like I said, when Trump, his last 2 years, we didn't even bring up about DACA. Like, he completely folded to the Democrats in that one, signing DACA with no border security.
Yeah, and that's like the fucking Republicans' big fucking talking point. Is the DACA shit, is the Republicans shit. That's your whole fucking campaign right there.
Yeah.
Oh, we need border security. What did fucking Trump do for border security? Whenever fucking, okay, I'll sign up on DACA and we'll just deal with that later. And whatever the fuck. With fucking Dianne Feinstein. Whenever he was going on about the fucking guns and shit. He was going to pass that. He wanted to pass that red flag law. Make no fucking mistake.
And that
Trump wanted to pass that
the red flag law, basically, if let's say, and people say, well, how do you explain the red flag law? Marvin asked me that. Basically, if me and Marvin, hypothetically, and we could pick 3 people and said, hey, Prodigal Hill has been acting completely insane lately, and we just want to let you know. The government then can come in, give him a mental evaluation, which is against his
constitutional right, my right to privacy.
And not only that, but if you get enough people to say Prodigal Hill, like a witch hunt, basically, and the government can say, well, we have enough red flags to render, we're going to go ahead and put a freeze on you buying guns until we figure this out. So Prodigal Hill wouldn't be able to own a firearm. And to me, that's unconstitutional.
And that's also whenever these fucking lefty bastards come running their mouth about their fucking single-payer healthcare system or their universal healthcare. That's why you go tell them to fuck off. Because when you start to centralize that fucking healthcare, we already see how you react with every other government agency that you have. We already seen what you did with the fucking commie cough. You know what I'm saying? You wanted to, oh, you've got a mask everywhere and you can't come into the hospital and see your dying relatives because we're doing a psychological operation. So, I mean, the government needs less authority, not more authority. And the sheer fact that you want to go ahead and hand over like I said, I already got a plan. I already have a plan. There's like millions of motherfuckers out there that talk about the same shit, I'm sure. They're out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the only motherfucker saying the shit. But there's other fucking people out there that talk about the same shit that I do. And we all agree that there's actual solutions, but they don't you go to the fucking presidential debate. This is perfect, right? What are they talking about? Oh, well, do we need to send more aid to Ukraine? Do you think that Putin is the greatest threat to the United States? What about climate change? Fucking stupid shit that I swear, dude, I swear to God, Twitter is nothing but a big fucking dungeon. It's Dungeons and Dragons Guild on fucking Twitter because you motherfuckers talk about some of the stupidest shit I believe I've ever heard in my life. Oh my God, you're anti-Semitic. No, you're just an Islamic phobe, and they're just playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Prodigal, what are your pronouns?
Yeah. Yeah, what are you identifying? I'm gay there. I'm gay there.
Prodigal, doesn't it seem like, I don't even want to say our education system failed us. I mean, I want to say that's one thing you could probably say. I just think our society's so dumbed down. They're not even fully aware of what's like. We've all been hit with Joe Biden syndrome. Maybe we're all like got dementia, man. There's got to be an explanation for this retardation going on right now.
And I mean, like I said, you dude, I mean, dude, whenever I kind of crashed or I just listened a little bit into whenever they were still trying to get a speaker up and stuff, and they were like, oh, no, we want Kevin McCarthy. No, we want dude, I heard these motherfuckers on Twitter talking about this shit. All these fucking Republican fucking officials with the fucking blue check marks. I mean, this isn't like some, random DeSantis shield that's out there like, oh no, DeSantis still gonna win. DeSantis still gonna win. That motherfucker doesn't have a platform. Okay. This is on Twitter, by the way. So if you come across this DeSantis shield, understand what I'm telling you. First off, you have to build a platform. My platform is the American Springs, using that pipeline, helping the Latin American countries go ahead and fix their infrastructure, go ahead and take out the drug cartels. Let's go ahead and use that oil, and then we can use our oil to bring down our price. We can use the oil from Mexico and from Canada to go ahead, send that over there. I would go with China, say, hey, China, we're going to go ahead. We'll make a deal with Russia. Russia, you want the European market? You want to go ahead and control the European energy? Have at it, Hoss. That's all yours. Yeah. Middle East, you got Africa. We're going to go ahead and provide energy for the Asian market because you kind of want to keep a little bit of a grip on them because they're communist nations and shit.
Yeah, gotcha.
You want to keep them. Okay, so this is a fair deal, right? We use this oil to help pay off our debt and stuff like that. It's going to add like $4 to $6 trillion to our GDP. It's going to bring our economy back, do the tax cuts, shit like that, make the cost of living a little bit better. Well, then the people who are here illegally, all these people in these caravans that they claim that I don't see, but they claim that a caravan's coming here to Texas. I haven't seen one fucking caravan. Okay. But, they'll probably want to go back home and live in Mexico because their economy will be better. We have people here that are legal immigrants. Some of them are, got educations. They would probably see a market down there. They would probably go back down to Mexico and want to go and live in Mexico.
And I know Mexico is using currently the peso. So I think maybe you can agree with this. We can invest in the peso like we did with crypto. And therefore would increase they could increase the peso, or they can switch over to the American dollar by building this pipeline. And
and if
a de-mass importation, you would see a mass deportation, meaning a lot of people may go back and say, well, if we're using the American dollar and my dollar goes far and they have jobs or creating jobs, then I may be able to live in Mexico now instead of having to work here and then move back when I'm 80.
Yeah. And see, that's one platform of how we solve that without having to build a border wall where everybody's happy. But DeSantis do that? No. The healthcare, it's easy to solve healthcare. We just go ahead, take out this government legislation, go ahead and say, hey, look, you got to sit there and be reasonable with your insurances. We got to stop the frivolous lawsuits. Go ahead, take out some of the legislation that makes healthcare so expensive. Once you do that, we go ahead and increase the supply, building up more access to healthcare. At the same time, we go ahead and implement price transparency. It's going to bring it down.
Yeah, and
Once
then also not to mention, we can have an overseer, maybe not a government agency, but an overseer to make sure that insurance companies actually get paid.
Right.
You know?
Well, here's the deal, right? Once you get, the healthcare where you could pay for it, because the healthcare in Mexico and all these other countries, it's relatively affordable, and it should be relatively affordable here, but the government doesn't allow for it to be affordable.
Yeah.
So what we do now is, now that we got it affordable, where you and I could pay out of pocket, then the insurance will go down. So we may want to pay for our own insurance. But I guarantee you got a lot of these fucking Ponzi schemes that funnel that money right in through the Democrats. We go ahead, take that over. We're going to go ahead and sit there and do an audit over everything. And then we use all this money for the 50C4s, the charity organizations, and even the 50C3s. We use all this money right here, and that should be more than enough, because I guarantee it's probably trillions of motherfucking dollars that go into these organizations every year. We go ahead and use that to subsidize the pre-existings and low incomes as a private alternative, and you may not even need Medicare or Medicaid after that. You probably won't.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
And not to mention another idea that I thought of, I don't know if you would agree or disagree, but we could even do what Europe does by raising the gas prices by 10 cents maybe, and we can use that extra money to allocate.
But you already know this. Europe doesn't pay for their healthcare. We pay for Europe's healthcare. You know that, because you talk to the guy with Clinton.
For their healthcare, right?
We donate our money to the UN, for their defense.
Well, they
stuff.
also don't have a defense budget.
Yeah.
So Europe, we pay for Europe's defense budget. 20% of our taxes, if I'm correct, allocates towards NATO and those bases that are in Europe.
But see, all that money goes into their fucking healthcare. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, there yet again, that we can't do it like Europe does it, because Europe, they get a free pass because we're having to pay for their shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I see.
Because, yeah. So, I mean, doing the Europe thing is not going to work. And like I said, if they weren't dependent on us as like fucking work cattle to go ahead and take taxes out of us, then they would have to provide for their own common defense. And then they would have to have a budget for that. And then, it's not going to be.
Isn't that crazy, knowing that part of our money that we pay in taxes that we're essentially work for and bust our ass, I might add, is paying for other people's health care and other people's defense budget like that? I don't even know if rather to say that just infuriates me, or if that just makes me feel so empty inside to know that I can pay for somebody else's health care, but yet you guys want us paying thousands of dollars a month for some, hundreds for others, for our own health care. I mean, I don't even know where to begin to make that make sense.
Yeah. And so people could sit there and say, because they do that shit a lot, they'll donate to something, but it goes to something else. You know what I'm saying?
And here's the crazy thing, Prodigal. A lot of the money that we send to other countries in these foreign aid packages, we don't even have an overseer, like, for example, Ukraine, to know where even all the money's going.
Yeah. Yeah. And so,
does that make any sense to you?
So yeah, that's a platform, is the healthcare bill. You do the American Springs, you do the healthcare reforms and shit like that. You bring down the healthcare stuff like that. You'll find out that a lot of our fucking issues will work itself out. You do tax cuts alongside it, and then you'll see a prospering economy. We're not going to be hurting at all. People who are qualified to have jobs, get rid of this fucking EGT diversity hire bullshit that you have. Hire qualified candidates. Let these motherfuckers that are in media right now and taking up these government positions like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez take her ass back to Taco Bell where she belongs, and get people that are qualified. But the deal is that they're so fucking greedy that, like, people like me, I've already been. People said, "Hey, why don't you run for president? Because you got a lot of these ideas that'll probably work." Because I'd have to get people first off to invest into them, to want to do the shit around me first thing. I just can't do the shit by myself. I'd have to get people that are familiar with the medical industry. I'd have to get people that are familiar with the economical side to see the pipeline thing and where we could cut costs and how it worked. That's one. Two, they would fucking kill me. They would fucking JFK me because they don't want any solutions. They want you to fucking live in your fucking dwellings right now and be on here on the internet and rage about shit. They don't want any.
Like in other words, for like drilling gas here, I know that essentially I think Biden was the one that killed the pipeline or whatever. But do you really think gas companies really want us to drill here? Because do you think they like the idea of selling gas for less than $1 and their COOs don't get the big Christmas bonus that they thought they were going to get? I mean, if anything, they want us to depend on foreign oil. They want us to because they want to charge the $3 to $6 a gallon, depending on the state you live in. You think gas companies want to give you gas at 80 cents a gallon because we're tapping in oil reserves here? No, they're going to do everything in their power to fight it.
No, and then they want you all on electric vehicles, so if something fucking happens, they could just shut your fucking vehicle down. They want you on fucking Bitcoin, so if something fucking, if you cause a threat, they could just go ahead and shut down your Bitcoin or whatever the fuck it is. And you people that are, y'all all want to get fucking deep into the fucking web with shit, and that's dumb because they could just shut the shit down. So, this is where we're at in this country because a lot of us are now shadow banned. Steven's shadow banned. I'm shadow banned. But a lot of the good channels were just straight out fucking deleted and stuff.
Yeah.
It's on 3 fucking platforms and I only got 2 viewers. I can tell you right now, they don't want nobody to see my shit. And
I got 3K subs, Prodigal, and I'll be lucky to get 15 viewers on a good day if it's a catchy title. Most of the time it's under 5. And a
lot of the problem is because nobody traffics this fucking platform anymore neither. I tell you, a lot of the shit that I watch is on Rumble. Why? Because I don't have to deal with the stupid commercials that come on. I don't have to listen to fucking Steve Harvey go, I've got $54,000 in stimulus money. All you got to do is click on this link below.
Oh, you mean the AI technology? They even got they even got Fox News, like what's his name? The guy that fired Carlson. I can't believe this stimulus for $6,500. All you do is just click down here.
Like we're gonna fucking fall for that shit. Yeah. So I don't get that shit on Rumble. I don't have to worry about hearing that stupid shit on Rumble. And then on top of that, a lot of the people are less reluctant. I'm less reluctant to make content on here because a lot of the traffic are going to Rumble because you have more freedoms and liberties if you go to BitChute or if you go watch a Rumble video. Those people are going to be able to. You can't say shit on this platform. I had my fucking, even though I have fucking evidence, my channel was taken down for questioning the election.
Here's this, Prodigal. Check this out. I'm getting flagged on my comments now from years ago that I've left. That might have been part of the guidelines. I just got a 24-hour ban to not comment because I had a comment that was flagged like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So I think I told somebody
to fuck off
or something, and they reported that.
I'll be back in a second, man. You can go ahead and talk a little bit.
I'll go ahead, yeah. And so that's why I said let's just go ahead and so I got a strike for that, believe it or not, for a comment that I made 3 years ago that was part of the that did not violate the use of terms of service. Now all of a sudden it does under the new rules. That's why I'm having a lot of my videos being taken down, even on private, unlisted. Many of my videos are being taken down. I love YouTube, don't get me wrong, but it sucks that we're at this point. And I know he talks about BitChute and Rumble, but I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think those sites are as popular as YouTube is. I think everybody still kind of ideally wants to create YouTube content. But it may come down to a year or two where we may have to finally transition to Rumble. It may come to that.
Well, I don't see the popularity in YouTube anymore because used to back in the days, people would share YouTube videos all over the fucking place.
Oh,
but now you don't see it a lot. But here's the deal: there's not a lot of traffic on Facebook anymore, and fucking Twitter is nothing but shills and fucking sock accounts and fucking bots and grifters. Pretty much, they're mainly. Yeah. Are you even on Twitter?
No, I'm not on Twitter.
Okay, so it's basically bots, and basically you're talking to the media shills. Basically, is what
and
you're doing.
And that's even after Elon Musk took over. It's still the same way.
Yeah, because he's having issues of people getting back and joining. Like you're not on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So you're having a lot of people that are don't trust these internet sites anymore. Once they get banned like 2 or 3 times, they're just like, fuck it.
Well, I think after the YouTube saga, I think people just stopped trusting and going on. Like you said, I think it was the YouTube apocalypse that got people into like just saying, fuck it, I give up,
Well, let them collapse. I say let fucking YouTube collapse. Let them lose fucking money. You know, I'm not gonna sub to fucking YouTube as like my Netflix account. If that's what they think that they're going to go with. I'm not gonna watch fucking Will Smith's little fucking dramatical videos on here. I don't give a shit.
Facts.
I'm not gonna sub to YouTube as an alternative to cable right now because I can't trust the website. If you can take down my fucking videos, if you can terminate my account arbitrarily because of your HR 5181, well then you don't need my money for your fucking NFL fucking programming shit because I can get that somewhere else where they don't delete my account.
Yeah, and not only that, but what's the point? It's like you said, what's the point of producing content, or what's the point of giving it your all, or paying a monthly service when you could just still delete anything I say and I still don't feel like I have any, and then I have to pay for that misery.
But I can tell you this right here, and I always piss them off with this right here, but they know that I'm right. But you take like the Young Turks, and you take like David Pakman and Kyle Kalinske, nobody wants to watch your shit. Nobody wanted to watch the shit whenever YouTube had traffic. All right? That's just being totally 110% fucking honest. So YouTube boosts them up in the algorithms. However, their views still go fucking down. Why do they go fucking down? Why are you only getting like, they have to bot their own videos up. It's sad, really, at the end of the day. Yeah. Because by my estimate, it's only really, the Young Tucks probably only get about 35,000 organic views because you have to do division and shit now. So you have to times 0.0 or you have to 0.15 because it's only like 15% of their views organic.
But so, YouTube used to be an independent platform. Like it thrived off of independent YouTube makers. Now it's just more media production and
right. Hollywood, and nobody was watching the media whenever they came to YouTube. So the sheer fact that you're promoting media out there, you're just going to drive people off that platform onto another platform. That's why I'm saying that, like a lot of people, I watch a lot of Rumble now because I don't have to deal with the bullshit anymore.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you think it'll be a matter of time before they start coming after Rumble, or do you think that they're going to be protected?
Well, my whole deal is right now is they're very, very lucky because they've been patient. Nobody voted for Trump because they thought Trump was fucking qualified for the job. And in fact, you had the most crooked fucking politician that was supposed to be the most qualified politician, and Hillary Clinton run against his ass, which he also rigged that election too. And I stopped a motherfucker dead in his tracks whenever he says, oh, well, you think the 2020 election was rigged. Do you think the 2016 was rigged? Yeah, it was rigged. For Hillary, though, because she won the popular vote. Well, boy, that blew his fucking brain. I was like, if it was rigged for Hillary. It wasn't rigged for Trump. Because Hillary won the popular vote. So if I'm going to sit there, yes, the 2016 election was rigged. She didn't win the popular vote. The only reason why, I was talking about it whenever it happened and trying to get people, but it's okay because Trump got in and it's all fine and everybody was happy and I was just being a pessimist and shit and a conspiracy theorist.
Facts.
And now it comes back. They rig in 2020 because you never called them out in 2016 whenever she was sitting there saying, bitch, you're goddamn right it was rigged because there's no way you got 65 million votes. Nowhere.
That's how many Hillary got? That's how many Hillary got?
That's how much they claimed that she got, but she didn't get that many. I guarantee you she probably didn't break 30 fucking million.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you. I bet you, because most of the Democrats that I know were voting third party because they didn't want Hillary. Nobody liked Hillary, not even the Democrats. So they never fixed.
Well, I think Bernie Sanders ultimately got screwed in both elections in the primaries.
Well,
I think he was the more popular guy in the Democratic
Party. This is one thing that I can't get the fucking DeSantis voters to understand was that in 2016, when they fucked over Bernie Sanders, a lot of those fucking Bernie bros voted for fucking Trump. Now, according to some random ass peer-reviewed study in some Dungeons and Dragons guilt in the fucking University of fucking crackhead Utopia, wherever the fuck they come up with these ridiculous fucking shit that they come up with.
Facts.
They said only 12% of the Bernie bros voted for Trump. Okay, but are we going to go with your numbers? Because you said 49 million Americans were voting Democrat, according to you. Is that 12% of that 49 million now? Because that's a hell of a lot of fucking votes. So that means that you have to take some votes away from Hillary, give them to fucking Trump, and there's no way you could do the math to get fucking 65 million for Hillary. It wouldn't fucking work. It doesn't work for Biden getting 81 million either. But we're supposed to sit there and believe that you're taking Trump to trial, and we're not going to vote for Trump next year. So we have no dog in the fucking fight. We have no reason to fucking lie to you about the shit. I don't give a fuck. But with that being said, you know, as infuriating as it gets, there's just no way to sit there and legitimately, and they're like, well, you can't prove it. I guarantee you, whenever that fucking lynch mob comes for your ass because you fucked over Trump once again, I can tell you one motherfucker who's not going to go ahead and stick up for these motherfuckers when they hang you from the fucking rafters like Mussolini because you rigged another vote up there in fucking Washington. It's not going to be a January 6th shit, neither. You know, it's going to be your ass.
To the guillotine. Probably straight to the guillotine.
Dude, there's motherfuckers in California that are tired of this shit. They're like, when is enough?
Even my old man was telling me, he said, I don't even see how Joe Biden gets out of the primaries, let alone the main election.
Yeah.
They would have to even rig the own primaries just to get him in the main election. Because his approval rating is what?
37%, I think.
36 or 30, something like that, yeah.
So, I mean, no, it's not going to work. They have to know it's not going to work. And so you know, it's not making them look good. And like I said, it's not technically all Biden's fault.
No.
But it is partially Biden's fault.
Well,
that the economy.
I don't think Joe Biden, and this is just my personal opinion, I've had people ask me this, I don't think Joe Biden comes across as like a Marxist socialist. I think that he might be a little bit more left than Bill Clinton, but I think that the party he represents tells him what to do. That's what I think.
Right.
What to say and what to do.
Yeah. And yeah, he's just a fucking, he's just a rubber stamp is what he is.
I think that he's in the beginning stages of dementia. And this is what I believe. I don't know if you believe this, but I do believe if, let's say hypothetically, Joe Biden does win again, let's just say hypothetical. If he wins again, whether it was fair or not, let's just say he wins, okay? So he wins election. I don't see him lasting all 4 years. I think he'll last 2 years and 1 day to get Kamala Harris in. And that's what I believe is going to happen.
I want to go back to this comment because Scott asked us earlier. He said, do you think Mike Johnson is good Speaker of the House now? This is the fucking great thing because I wanted to bring this back up. That's why I'm mentioning it now.
Okay.
It's because wouldn't it be fucking funny, right? Oh, I don't think it would happen because, like, you listen to Mike Johnson, he's the total fucking evangelical. And I say just fuck it. I say fuck it. Send this fucking country into a theocracy. As a Christian, I don't want to see it because Christianity is dead set against a theocracy. But just go ahead and let the fucking theocrats do their shit.
I think that's what's about to happen, though.
Yeah, you know what's about to happen.
We're getting away from a religious society.
Right. So, I mean, you know, you've already pushed into this fucking communist bullshit, right? What did I tell you? Whenever that pendulum swings as far left as it has with these fucking Democrats over here that think that they're a popular party.
Facts.
Whenever that pendulum swings so far left, you got so many people right now, even people like Hard Bastard, who you know I watch, who were extremely fucking liberal at one point in time, who has swinged radically right. He's right of me. He's going to vote for Trump. He just fucking praises Trump all the time. So now, you know, I'm here in the center and everybody's kind of swung right of me. Everybody that I know that were these Bernie bros that were fucking socialist at one point in time now understand we need to go right. And you have all these people
Even my
going
dad
out.
as a Democrat was telling me the same thing. He
Right.
might have to vote a Republican in the next election.
I used to tell homosexual people all the time. I said, don't jump on board with this LGBTQ shit. They're going to end up fucking you over with it. And then what happens? It's the same thing with the Black Lives Matters people. Don't jump on board with these stupid identity politics that the left are running. It's a scam. It's going to come back to bite you in the ass. Well, now you have all these people that have so much animosity towards the homosexual community right now. And like I've had to work with some, I've had to be a supervisor with some. Some of it is they're in their catharsism, but other parts of it is like, you know, this is why people are getting irritated is because you do the stupid shit that the left tells you to do. And then it irritates people. Because
and here's what's sad. Remember we talked about the workforce when you said whenever something comes up, they all have to stick. We have to stick together by political factions, and then it affects the workplace. People aren't everyone's working in their own self-interest and not the interest of the group. And they
Right.
have this Lord of the Flies, quoting
Yeah,
you,
Lord of the Flies that I have to
video.
deal with every fucking day.
Yeah, and so they're like, well, we have even the moderate, let's say LGBTQ people, because not all of them are bad. It's just the extreme ones. Let's just say the
Right.
ones that aren't real radical left, but they're like moderate. But because they're getting pressure from their buddies, hey, we have to form up because AKA the evil white straight man's after us again. Then
Yeah,
it's
and
just Lord of the Flies,
Yeah, the fucking me and Steven are watching football. We don't give a shit about what the fuck y'all are doing. You think that we're going to sit there and say, man, you know what, Steven? We haven't bashed a homo here recently. No, that's not what we're doing. You know?
No, Marvin said it's evil white Christian man.
Yeah. But I tell you what, though. I tell you what, man. It's swinging radically right now. Where people are demanding that these institutions that are trying to groom your children and shit, and it's the fucking most ridiculous, over the top, dumbed down to the lowest common denominator shit that is ever fucking argued on this fucking website. And that tells you exactly where the fucking administrators at YouTube, and maybe not as much Twitter now, but like on Facebook, that tells you exactly where the fuck they stand. Because they're like, well, we have to have drag queen story hour. We've got to put this literature that teaches a kid how to give a blowjob. And by all means, you could have a little bit of common sense and say, okay, maybe that's a little too much. Maybe we could go ahead and walk that back a little bit to where we're not having drag queens read fucking kids and trying to put the sexual bullshit in front of kids, or doing the, drag kids and shit, like the fucking Desmond is amazing and shit like that. Maybe we don't need to do that. Maybe we don't need to promote that shit.
Did you see that one that said "suck my dick" in front of those kids? Did you see that one that went viral? He was like in there dancing, like "suck my dick," and he just said it in front of a whole bunch of kids. It looked like RuPaul in a fucking dress,
And, we need to have a little bit of, so now that shit's going radically right. And I can tell you right now, your leftist fucking content, like the Young Turks, like your David Pakmans, like your fucking Ring of Fires, like your Kyle Kalinske, if you think you're getting organic views, you're not. Nobody knows who the fuck any of you are.
And Prodigal, here's how bad the Democratic Party is becoming. Not only are they fighting amongst each other, but all the moderate Democrats that they really needed to depend on to carry their policies and their ideology, now they're even scaring those guys off. So the only ones you got are the extremists, and you know what that means? That they're all fighting amongst each other for superiority.
Yeah.
It's just one big shit fest.
Like Eric Johnson just left the fucking party. Tulsi, what do you call her? Tulsi L. Gabbard?
Even Joe Rogan, who's far left, is even now more moderate left, leaning towards the right.
Yeah, and fucking, I guarantee you, Elon wasn't no Republican, right-wing motherfucker.
No, he was a left-wing guy.
Yeah.
He admitted it.
Jimmy Dore. And you know what? Here's the thing. You'll get a guy like Jimmy Dore, or you'll get a guy like Dave Rubin, or you'll get a guy like Greenwald that was a part of the Young Turks that said the shit got too stupid for them to sit there and cover. Whenever they were having fun with the shit, all of a sudden they jump off, they do their own thing, and they're fucking outdrawing the fucking people that they made their career with. They're getting more views than they are. They're getting more traffic. They're having more influence, just like, and, the thing is that a lot of the shit that, we were doing here on YouTube, we're not getting fucking paid for the shit. We do the shit for fun. And that's the difference. They come in and they have an agenda. It's all scripted dialogue. Fucking, they got this girl. She actually lives close to you now on the Young Turks. Her name is Yasmin Khan, but I always give her hell and I troll her ass because her last name is Khan, like Tony Khan and Nick Khan, who are big wrestling fucking guys.
Yeah.
So of course, whenever I see this, I'm like, I've got to fucking troll her because her last name is fucking Khan. And I troll Tony and I troll Nick because your wrestling products suck and you fucking, it's getting, WWE is getting a little bit better, but, fucking A&W is fucking garbage. It's hot trash. So, but, this is her. Probably has a lot of talent, very attractive, very ethnic, could probably get a base. But this is her. She's over here like I'm pretending like I'm her. There are so stupid for talking out of comment. She's reading off and then it's jump clip. But that's what the Young Turks, and they'll put these motherfuckers up. It's not only her, it's fucking, my name is Victor Dogetta, Major Retard Victor Dogetta, and this motherfucker, you put the dumbest motherfuckers on your fucking network, and then we're supposed to take you seriously. They had some little preteen girl who thinks her shit don't stink, and why are you so dumb? You know, that's the shit that they're putting up there. Man, dude, I'm telling you, it's all you can do is troll.
All the new people they bring on are all just like half brain dead, and they're like, "Oh, I think that it was wrong for them to say that."
Yeah, it's like, dude, and the whole thing is, I'll leave my little trolling comment, and I know that it's fucking there to trigger motherfuckers. That's what I do. That's what trolls do.
I reckon I said,
Yeah.
I reckon I said, for all
I'm trolling the comment section, and they're like, well, you still watched the video, and I still got a view. I have to explain it to them. I didn't watch your fucking video. I watched Hard Bastard's video. Hard Bastard covers your videos, or Soft Gentleman, whichever fucking show I see it on, and then I go back to your channel because I've seen your video already. I stop it before the fucking commercial gets through because I don't care to hear fucking there yet again fucking old dipshit try to give me a $54,000 stimulus, and then I leave my comments.
Okay, Marvin, I'll answer your question. We're here on Facebook. I'll let Prodigal answer that question. He said he's on here from Facebook Live on my channel because I linked it to that. He wants to know, Prodigal, what do you mean by these channels are botting up their videos? What do you mean by that? Because you said they're not getting as many views as you say they are. Could you?
Well, a lot of these people, and you've done this before. I know you've had sock accounts before, right?
In the past,
I've got 4 accounts. They're not really sock accounts,
but in the past I've had sock accounts, but not anymore.
But I've got like 4 accounts. They're not really sock accounts because I keep material on them, and I've done videos on them. But technically, they could be considered sock accounts because they're not have a picture of my face or anything. Okay. But they create all these little accounts. They light their own shit up. Then they buy views and subs, which you can do also sub for sub. Which
I didn't know you can do that. I didn't know you can do that.
There's so many ways that you can get artificial views and subs. You can pay money to go ahead and get that on YouTube. It's been that way for years.
Oh,
but
wow. Okay.
A lot of people used to sit there and watch people do that, and you kind of cringe a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's why,
Well, that's like Barack Obama giving himself the Medal of Honor.
Right, yeah.
Heart or some shit like that. Remember when he did that?
Yeah. And so, when the guys that were still here, the older YouTubers that were here before me, that I've talked to some of them, guys like Andre Corbill and stuff like that, particularly in the wrestling community, they used to always sit there and tell me, if you're going to monetize your channel, wait until at least you got 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 subs, something like that. Because then that people are interested in your content. Don't go out and buy the views and subs because they're going to be cheap. You're not going to get any real influence and shit. So that's why I done it. I always did it the old-fashioned way. I just put out because I didn't give a fuck. I'm not even trying to get paid on this here. You know what I'm saying? Oh, by the way, I finally got my book written. All I need to do is get it typed up now.
Wow! As soon as that comes out, I would love to buy a copy and give a review on it.
But it's not going to be. It's not like I thought it was. I thought I was going to go with the Hater's Guide book, and it didn't end up being that way. It's going to be one that you wanted to see for a long time about the prophecies and shit like that. So, yeah, I just got to edit it up, put it on the computer now, but it's written already.
Okay, so you got your rough draft mainly.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
I got it in the notebook.
You ever thought about hiring a ghostwriter for like?
I'm thinking about it.
You can get a ghostwriter, and like my uncle did that when he was writing children's books. And basically, what you do is, I think it's for like $200. I think you pay $250. He told me, but basically, what they do is they can take your rough draft and turn it into either a movie or a book. And since in your case it's a book, so he'll just go over there. He might take a little bit out and tell you, hey, this is what I'm going to take out. And then he might say, hey, I think this would be a great idea if you add this. It may be a little bit over exaggerating or maybe stretching it a little, but I think it would tweak it up just a little bit. Then you could say yay or nay, and then he gets the final.
It's going to be hard to tweak mine up because it's mostly history and it's all proven history. Okay. So it's basically like a commentary on history.
Gotcha.
So he could, he could tweak it up and then use different language maybe, but it's going to be kind of hard to like
contents.
Yeah.
Kind of stretch it. to make it catchy, you know,
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
You know, a lot
Yeah.
of people who make books do this. You know, it's not nothing new. You know,
Right. And that's fine. But it's going to be kind of hard to like take out this and then move that and stuff. It's going to be kind of hard
Gotcha.
because
It would be
it's got to
minor
fit.
tweaks, and then you would have to approve of it first. And
Yeah.
then once the final say is done, then he turns it into a book, and then there you go.
Yeah. So yeah, that's done. But anyway, yeah, this is where we're at right now in this country. So we got.
Let me ask you this: what are your thoughts personally on how to bring taxes down? Ultimately, because I have ideas.
The IRS.
What your idea? I know you talked about the gas is one thing, but what are your thoughts on the actual? Because the average American is being taxed at 60%.
Get rid of the income tax altogether. Do a 10-cent tax on all items, and that would be the same amount as they're taking in right now. I think no, it's 16 cents. 16 cents tax. However, with this being said, 16 cents to the dollar. However, with this being said, you look at all these tax dollars that they've accumulated because they take in, I think they took in $5.3 trillion last year. What do you have to show for it?
Nothing.
$5.3 trillion.
And not to add, a lot of people will argue with me and say, well, they need to fix potholes and bridges with that money. I'm like, really? Because I drive around parts of Houston and they can't even, on the city level, they don't even hardly fix those. So you have to wonder if this money is going to fix potholes, infrastructure, bridges and stuff, how come I hardly ever see them doing it?
But
potholes off of beach stuff that have been untouched for 10 years.
But is Sheila Jackson Lee like y'all's representative?
Unfortunately, yes.
So that's the problem. Because whenever we had Democrats running this motherfucker, dude, it was like they would have streets that wouldn't even have fucking stop signs on them. You just had to fucking just gun it and pray for the best here. In a way.
They got potholes here, Prodigal, that look like a crater in the ground. It looked like a meteorite hit it.
Whenever we were dealing with the fucking Democrat, because Democrats always invest into their own fucking kickbacks and shit.
Facts.
They'll go ahead and invest in fucking Planned Parenthood before they give a cent to that fucking pothole because it's going to go back into their pockets.
Yep.
And so that's your issue, is that you got Sheila Jackson Lee there, who's not going to fucking, she doesn't give a fuck, because whenever you see these fucking Alexandria Ocasio-Cortezes, they're like, oh, look, we need to go ahead and spend more money on infrastructure, but won't do a damn thing. They'll raise your taxes, but they're not going to fix anything for you.
Yeah, so that's why, the reason why I brought that up, Prodigal, is because I'm sick and tired of hearing people, well, they need taxes to fix the bridges and infrastructure. I'm like, well, then why the fuck they haven't done it yet? And the thing is when they're taking taxes, mind you, how come we don't have an overseer to see where this money's going and how much is being spent? Well, and why are we not being informed? Where's the transparency?
Well, the deal is that we were getting bridges and roads and had militaries before there was an income tax. You know what I'm saying? You know what else we had before there was an income tax? A lot fucking fewer wars. But
Facts.
That's the whole deal, is that, go to a 16-cent flat tax to every fucking dollar. You're still generating that same revenue. You could still fucking fund your same resources and shit. And that money doesn't get funneled into, we need to do like exactly what fucking Rand Paul said. We need to audit the fucking Fed, see where all this money's going. And we need this shit to be publicized for everybody to see.
Let's go ahead and audit the IRS while we're at it. Not to mention, I say, why don't we just do away with property tax? See, Abbott signed in the law. We're supposed to be getting a 25% reduction on our property taxes next year for the next fiscal year in 2024. So like we pay $3,900 in my subdivision, or $3,900. So we'll probably be walking out paying about $3,000, a little bit under, like $2,900, somewhere around there. So, but I ultimately think we should just do away with property tax. I think the flat tax alone would cover the income tax and property alone, and it would save Americans a ton of money. And we can invest that back in the private sector. You can go to your Buffalo Wild Wings, you can go to your KFC and support local businesses.
And if Texas decides, hey, we're going to go ahead and drop an extra like 2 or 3 cents onto that for help Texas infrastructure, more power to you. I don't mind spending 20 cents. If it's 4 cents, there you go. Okay. And you'll be good. You'll be able to cover the resources. You'll be okay. You're not going to be struggling. But the deal is that you have too many people well, I won't say too many. You got too few people controlling the resources for everybody, and they don't have the capacity to do such.
Well, also, Prodigal, while we're talking about this, how about we do what Ted Cruz wanted to do, which was impose term limits for the Senate, the House, and Congress?
Are you still there? Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
You muted yourself, I think, just a little bit.
Okay.
'Cause-
Why don't we put term limits on the Senate, the House, and Congress?
yeah, that should have already been done.
There's
The
no
sheer fact-
Senator Ted Cruz said this best. There's no such thing as a career politician, and there shouldn't
And-
be.
And I know that a lot of fucking people on this platform talk shit about fucking Ted Cruz, but I guarantee you that they're probably all a little bit corrupt. And I'm not saying that Ted Cruz is free from corruption whatsoever, but
No
I guarantee you the motherfucker is probably the best fucking congressperson that you have up there, especially if you're a fucking Republican. So you can go over there and do your little, like, your fucking stick, sex, and hammers and shit. Or, even hard bastard at a time. You live in fucking Pennsylvania. Your fucking guy is John Fetterman. You're going to fucking compare John Fetterman to Ted Cruz?
Well, look, Governor Abbott's not. Look, I've even criticized him in almost his whole term, but I'm not going to lie. In the month of June, he's picked the ball up. He's passed Senate bills out the House, like Senate Bill 17, banning men in dresses from going to public schools. Senate Bill 12, anybody under 18 cannot transition from one sex to the other unless you're 18 years of age. He put in Senate Bill 2 and 4 that help with the property tax reduction, property tax relief, and he had other conservative legislation that he passed as well. That's not currently ringing in my head, but I can tell you this. Governor Abbott has been picking up the ball lately.
Well, he needed to after that fucking COVID debacle. But,
and the way he handled the whole weather.
Because I'm not sitting there saying that all these people died for it, but whenever you're shutting down shit, I lost my job because of the shit. And, it's ridiculous. So if you motherfuckers can't do the job, well, then you're not going to have to worry about it much longer, because these motherfuckers are not going to sit there. They're losing patience. And like I try to fucking tell everybody, I try to tell everybody in the fucking State Department, if you're in the fucking State Department watching my fucking video on Twitter or fucking Facebook, the deal is that when people went out to vote for Trump like they did, whenever I was going out doing the fucking pro-Trump videos, when everybody else in the fucking YWC was doing pro-Trump videos, this should have been a sign. This should have said, okay, these people are not okay with what you're doing. These people don't like where you're taking this country. We don't trust the media. We don't trust you. We don't trust the politicians that you're putting in place. You should have went ahead and reformed. You and I like Tulsi Old Gabbard, right? You like Tulsi Gabbard, yeah.
I like Tulsi Gabbard, yes.
She's a moderate. She's approachable. Is that what you do? No, you just tell everybody to sit down, shut the fuck up, and take it, and we're going to do what the fuck we want to, and you're not going to do anything. That works for a little while. We're giving you every opportunity. Understand that whenever those motherfuckers get pissed and they decide that they're going to take you out, you can no longer claim ignorance anymore, because everybody's came out, gave you advice, said this is what you need to be doing. I've done my part, because if I don't tell you, and I know this shit's going to happen, but if I don't come out here and do these videos and tell you that, what I see,
Facts.
what you see in the fucking algorithm,
Facts.
what you see these people, the direction that you see the country going, it's only going to lead to one thing. And when these people get together and they get fed up, and they've had enough, they're not going to fucking Palestine. They're not blaming this shit on the Palestinians. They're not blaming it on the Israelis. They're not blaming it on Russia and Putin. They're not blaming it on these. They're going to blame you. And when that fucking happens, because you have no more trust in any of your media resources, because you should have never, ever passed that Smith-Mundt Modernization Act. Now that you do fucking 4 or 5, now you're starting the mass shootings again. Nobody's trafficking the shit. Nobody's responding to the shit. Nobody's reacting to your gun control now. And it doesn't matter.
During the Super Bowl, when the whole BLM Super Bowl narrative didn't work, they had to do that Memphis cop shooting where the 5 black guys were jumping that one black guy. They tried to turn that into a fiasco, and it didn't work.
Yeah, and now nobody's reacting to your shit. We want solutions, and if you're not going to do them, then eventually what's going to end up happening is the same shit that I always sit there and I tell them, "Oh, you can't say this on the internet. This is threatening my security." No, I'm just being real with you. What's going to end up happening is these people are going to get tired of it. They're going to start to fucking organize. Once they really start to organize, I'm not talking about the fucking guy in the water buffalo hat that went down to fucking January 6th. I'm talking about real-time veterans that are getting sick of the shit because I talk to them. They're prepping. You got all these preppers around here that have already been prepping for a civil war. Once they've had enough of the shit, then they're going to come down and they're going to deal with you, and it's going to be the same shit that's happened in fucking Italy with Mussolini, with Adolf Hitler. Whenever these tyrants have gotten so much with fucking the French Revolution, that's the shit that's going to happen to you. And at least I did my part. I did my video saying that if you keep going this direction, because you've already went, and like I said, I think it's going to become a theocracy anyway. As a Christian, you don't want to see it. You know, there's not really a lot I could do about it. This is all biblical anyways. It's in scriptures. So, I mean,
okay, can you talk a little bit about that right now since we're on here? I mean, this is a good show. Marvin and him are enjoying it right now.
Yeah. Well, you think about it, right? It's a one world religion. It's not a one world government. I don't know whoever conned you into believing it was a one world government, that you think Vladimir Putin is going to come in and be the Antichrist. That's not how it works. But we do know at some point in fucking time, it's going to be a one world religion where people are going to have to take the mark, which, you know, we see the way Israel's set up, and we see how all these people, the Zionists, are now, you know, starting to push that agenda and whatnot, where they may be in. So that, you know, it's not too far off. We're not too far off from that. And what, like I said, as radically as left as they've taken us with this commie trap bullshit, that pendulum's starting to swing radically right. So you're going to have these people, because that's one of the things. That's another reason why I stopped watching, because I used to watch a lot of religious content on YouTube. I used to listen to Pastor Charles Lawson. But whenever I listen to my sermons and shit on YouTube anymore, it's always Israel. No, they're not. They're not God's chosen fucking people, all right? Me and you have a fucking right to that fucking title of being fucking the seed of Abraham as they do. It's almost be impossible to have it, but they go ahead and throw into that shit. And they push everybody into, oh, well, they're God's chosen people, and we need to go ahead and bless them, and yada, 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 yada. That's the star of fucking Rimfan that's on their flag. That's the star of Moloch. They worship Moloch. That's their fucking God. And so, you know, in no shape or form, you know, we see that they're, you know, you look at it, and I saw a video, somebody say, all these people that were on these boards during the COVID pandemic, they were all Jewish nationals. You know what I'm saying? All these people that are in media, a lot of the people that are in media right now, a lot of them are Jewish. You know what I'm saying? Passing Jewish stuff or promoting Jewish shit. Hollywood, how many of them go into Judaism? How much control do they have? A lot of them live in Hollywood. You go listen to Dave Chappelle, that there's a lot of motherfuckers that are Jewish in Hollywood. So they control our entertainment. They control our radio. They control our TVs. They control all of these institutions and shit. So, I meant, you know, we can see where
in the Bible, right? When we're talking about the mark of the beast and all that.
Right. Yeah. So, I meant, you know, we're not too far off from that. And like I said, whenever that pendulum swings.
What stage you think we're at right now? Sorry to interrupt you. What stage you think we're at?
I think that we're at the sixth seal. I would have to go back and look into my Bible again. But like I said, I've been doing that book and stuff like that. And to me, it looks like we're almost in the sixth seal, which means that we're really close to that seventh seal. And, you know, from what I see in history and the way it's laid out, like I said, I go through it all in my book. I go through the four horsemen. I go through, you know, kind of where we're at today. And so, you know, it's we already know that the Catholic Church is setting up legislation right now. That Project 2025 that the Republicans are running, that's coming straight from the fucking Vatican, dude. I'm telling you.
Oh, wow.
All that shit is Vatican shit. And so that's what I keep telling these fucking feminazis out there that are, abortion is my constitutional right. You can't give me one argument, because I've already taken away your right to privacy, and I've already taken away your my body, my choice. Whenever I got fired from my fucking job for not taking your little fucking comedy cough
And we were
vaccine.
forced to have to take the jab too. They were forcing us,
Right.
or else we'll fire you. Ain't that my body, my choice?
Yeah. You should have made that argument then. You can't make that argument now. And so the whole deal is that I don't believe that you should use abortion as a fucking right of a form of birth control. Now, you have 11 different contraceptions there not to get pregnant. I'm not going to touch any of that shit. You don't want to get pregnant? That's your fucking choice. But it's your choice. Once you get pregnant, then it's no longer your choice. That's the deal. And you can no longer use my body, my choice, because you gave that up whenever you made sure that they were able to go ahead and do this vaccine mandates and the vaccine IDs.
Facts.
You can no longer use the right to privacy anymore because it was my right to privacy to tell you, are you vaccinated? Well, fuck yourself. I don't have to tell you shit. But so, I mean, those were the only things that protected that. So what I keep telling them is that they're like, oh, well, people are going to show up and vote for abortion. Okay, first off, this is your fucking platform, Democrats. This is your fucking platform. You're talking about child mutilation with, transgender, where a mother could just take her kid. Oh, well, she thinks she's a girl and then get, mutilate kids, child mutilation. You believe in predatory behavior around kids. I mean, it'd be different if y'all push back on some of the overbearing shit that they do. I would at least say, well, you know what? At least they're being practical about it and they're holding themselves accountable. But they never hold themselves accountable, and then they double down on the stuff like cuties and shit like that. And they try to make it seem like it's some sort of equivalent. You want to go ahead and give out the fucking CRT. You want to go ahead and indoctrinate our kids with fucking communist bullshit. You want to increase taxes. You want to arbitrarily increase taxes to take out businesses and shit with your fucking Inflation Reduction Act. You want to go ahead and implement red flag laws, which is against the Constitution. You go ahead and do the executive order HR 5181, which is against free speech. Nobody is for your fucking platform. Nobody cares about your shit. All you believe in is inflating the economy, and y'all are the biggest fucking enemies to this country that I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying?
Also, don't forget about inclusion. They also want to do inclusion, diversity bullshit.
Which doesn't help anything. The diversity hire shit.
Nothing. Yeah.
Right. You should be talking about qualifications.
Same, blah, 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 crap.
And it doesn't work that way. Your ideas are stupid. Grow up. And if you're not going to grow up, this is why I believe that we need to raise the voting age to like 22 to 24 years old. You should have to pay some fucking bills. Yeah. You should be older. These fucking 18-year-olds getting out of Harvard, you shouldn't have a right to fucking vote until you're 24, 25, and you're able to go ahead and take care of yourself. 18 is too fucking young to vote. And a lot of these kids, a lot of these people are just, first off, a lot of the fucking people that are on the Democrat side, like your Cenk Uygurs and shit, they're just shills. They're just there reading a teleprompter. They don't believe the shit. They can't be that fucking stupid, because if they were that stupid, I'd have to water his dumb ass 3 times a day just for him to fucking manage to survive.
Facts.
So they're not that fucking stupid, but they're paid to promote this stupid shit. And since there's no fucking market for the stupid shit, they have to ban all the other people like me and Stephen Rose. They have to shadow ban fucking, or straight out, I've lost a fucking YouTube channel, a Twitter account, a Facebook account. You know what? If I didn't have any influence, like these people tell me I did, then why are you banning my fucking accounts? That doesn't make any sense.
And if you're already shadow banned, what's there to flag?
Yeah.
Why?
You know what I'm saying?
What this man is saying,
Right. How are you fucking still till today still trying to fucking censor my fucking channel if I have no influence?
Why are they so bothered about a guy who could barely get 2 viewers on his live stream that they shadow banned?
I got 3 viewers right now: Raymond, King Twister, and fucking Will Ferrell. Those are the fucking 3 viewers I got.
Facts.
But they'll still fucking hit my fucking Twitter account. They'll hit my fucking Facebook account.
Yeah,
you can't say that. It's wrong,
I see your
gang.
screenshots all the time of you posting it on Instagram.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, man.
They've even flagged some of your videos that were on private. Dude, they reported a comment. They gave me a strike on a comment I made on somebody else's video like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it just showed up today.
Yeah. Yeah, they started flagging my shit while my shit was on private, dude.
You can literally delete your video and you'll still get a strike.
I would still get a fucking strike, man. Dude, they were fucking like, we're not gonna have this guy on our channel anymore. But I mean, you give all these views to all these fucking leftist crackhead commentators like fucking David Pacman, which is like, well, blue states are better than red states. Well, then I wish you would stay your blue state ass in your goddamn blue state and stop moving to our red state.
So why the fuck are you in a red state then? And
yeah,
that's my question. If California is so great, then why are so many Californians coming here, including Elon Musk? He just moved his family over here in Galveston area. Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, you know what I'm saying? David Pacman wants to move to fucking Florida. You don't even want to live where you're fucking you don't want to live where you are right now.
Facts.
So I mean, you want to move to Florida, but red states are is that a first? Wow, you have a guest. Is that a first? No, he's been on here quite a few times back, videos and
this
stuff.
Guy is Joe Moss, or is he just some?
Probably been a while. Yeah, I think I know who it is.
No. But anyway, no. Let me put it to you like this. And Marvin said this was great. Here's the thing: when we come to taxes, the only way to bring buying power to the dollar is to lower taxes. I think we can all agree on that. And the average American prodigal, your employer's taxed, then you're taxed. Everything you buy is taxed. You got a property tax. You got an income tax. Hell, you got a state tax in some states like California, New York, Florida, et cetera, et cetera. Then if you put money in the bank and you will it to your daughter or son or a friend or pet dog, that gets taxed. So how is it that our dollar is constantly being taxed 10 times over? I think that's an issue that we need politicians to fight for.
Well, here's the deal, right?
In this election.
And I've told you this before. I've told you this. I told the guy that works for me at work whenever he come to relieve me the other day.
Yeah.
The dollar is more valuable in your pocket than it is in the government's pocket. If it's in my pocket, it's more valuable. If it's in your private pocket, it's more valuable. And here's why. The government doesn't demand quality. They go to the lowest, cheapest bidder. So the quality is always going to be shit. Whenever the government incorporates shit, you could tell by your entertainment right now, because they've used these black rocks and all this shit to go ahead and take over the entertainment. And nobody wants to watch the shit. And that's just the perfect fucking example. They don't need quality. They do their little diversity shit where they're like, we're going to give the first black, Indian, transgender, Mexican, whatever the fuck a job.
Non-binary, the first ever role in history.
Yeah, but just the fucking other day, they were cleaning fucking commodes at work. They were fucking janitor. But, we giving them a chance to go ahead, and of course they don't know what the fuck they're doing because they have no interest in doing the shit. And then they make all these
some Joe Blow off the street.
Oh,
and they'll
fucking
say,
dude.
We hired. Let's take an example. You know the whole Bud Light fiasco. They appointed some woman as COO that never even worked for Bud Light before, and they said this is the first woman ever to reach this position, and she single-handedly almost put Bud Light out of business by bringing Dylan Mulvaney on there.
Yeah, and like, okay, here's the deal, right? You know that Barbie movie is? Everybody went to go see Barbie, right? I know everybody in the comments section went to go see Barbie because it made billions and billions and billions of dollars, right? And Barbie's breaking box office records. Dude, I went to fucking I fucking went to fucking Walmart, dude, the other day. I went to Walmart to see if I could find Oppenheimer because I wanted to watch Oppenheimer. I was like, I didn't get to see it. The cast is kind of interesting. I want to see Oppenheimer. I didn't find a fucking Oppenheimer movie, and a lot of the other movies were gone. But you know what they had a shitload of? Fucking Barbie everywhere. I thought everybody loved Barbie. I thought this was the greatest movie ever. I guarantee you, I didn't. Every fucking dude, they had fucking stacks of fucking Barbie.
Yeah. And if you watch Barbie, from what I was told by Rachel, my friend, she told me that Barbie's sort of a feminist. She's like, you don't need no man. Just think about your future and stuff, ladies. You don't need no damn man.
Well, to be fair, right? To be fair, Barbie probably stole that from me. because you remember whenever you were doing your MG toe thing and you and Travis, and I said, don't worry about trying to talk to these women out here. Don't worry about trying to get a woman. Concentrate on working on yourself, and then the woman would gradually come into your life and whatnot.
Yeah, you're right. And I have been doing that, and it works.
Yeah. And so, that was my advice to y'all for y'all doing that shit. And I say, don't worry about trying to talk to women or getting with these women. Just work on yourself, and you'll add more value to yourself. And then the women will eventually come.
You're right.
So that was instead of going to the fucking MG Toe and saying, "Oh, women, you're shit. I can't get a woman, and I'm having sex with a blow up." And I told them that they were this close to sucking a dick. That's how fucking anti-women they were. So I meant, that's what it is, dude. It's like you're not gonna.
You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Now I actually get fair criticism, on both sides.
Yeah, it's like the deal is that none of that kind of success. And I'm not saying that I had success in a relationship. I suck at relationships, but I kind of understand it's not going to do any good for me to sit there and dwell on somebody else's shit at relationships.
You're right.
I can just work on myself. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
You don't have an opportunity opens up somewhere else. So, that's
You're
why.
Right. I have refrained from that over the years. I've now do more political. I've done, I criticize both male and females. I give strong points, counterpoints, that sort of stuff. So I try to make it funny sometimes too, so yeah, but I've gotten away from that MGTO stuff.
Yeah, I suck at relationship videos. I just don't pick them, I just pick the shittiest fucking relationship, the most toxic fucking relationship, and I can stay into it as long as I can bear it.
Yeah, I saw your joke that you left on my comment about that witch that could turn her head halfway. It was like a 6-second clip that got like 6,000 views on my shorts. And you said it. I think you met my ex-girlfriend. I ain't gonna lie, that was funny as shit.
Yeah, that's my ex. You fan?
No, it's funny.
She could turn her head like that. That's what I got with her. You know what I'm saying?
She must have been good in the bedroom with that head.
She has qualities, but no, I mean,
you're tipping the lines, prodigal Marvin said, of toxic masculinity.
Yeah. No toxic, more toxic than me. All right. I'm proud of my toxic masculinity. I know I got balls. All right, That's where.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on property tax? Should we do away with property taxes?
Yeah, you should be able to own your property. You know what I'm saying? You used to have the owners back in the fucking days. I don't believe in like lifelong taxes on anything. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to do a sales tax to recover some of the things that you need for government, I'm okay with. I don't, even like, I don't even really mind doing the registration shit, for the cars and vehicles and stuff. I don't mind doing it because I know where it goes. I can see where, well, I can now. Back whenever we were being run by fucking Democrats and everything was shit, just like it was over there in your area with the big ass potholes and shit that you had to fucking. But now our infrastructure here is great, dude. Ever since we fucking went ahead, everything, we're getting a lot more people coming through here. We got a lot bigger jobs coming through, and that's what I tell everybody.
Well, prodigal, let me say this: we do need smaller government, but like I said, the flat tax. Do you think the flat tax alone could cover all that?
Yeah,
could cover all these taxes that we want to abolish.
But
that's what Marvin said.
To be fair, we need to get rid of a lot of the government spending, and that's another thing. That's why we need to get rid of the Department of Education. That's why we get rid of all these fucking, because those were never meant to be government fucking. Those should have been handled at the state level too. We need more privatized education, open up that market, allow capitalism to solve a lot of our problems. Because the issue is,
go ahead.
But the deal is, right, the more government jobs, this is what you get with government jobs, you get government pensions. So if you get people in there that work there for 20 years and then they retire and they live another 20 years, they have to get people that will come in take that job until those fucking budgets grow from like paying about $40,000 a year until they're getting paid $250,000 a year for these jobs and shit and then they can't cover those costs. That's where you had a lot of the shit with the banking collapse and the AIG thing happen. You had government pensions and everything, but you had too many federal employees and not enough, fucking to cover
money coming in. Yeah.
And so you need to get rid of all shit. I do believe we need to privatize Social Security. It worked down in Galveston,
Well, I mean, Marvin said the private sector does offer pensions too, but that doesn't affect the economy, does it? No?
No.
Like government? Okay. Like
Because if
government pension?
it's like your 401k, right?
Yeah, for Walmart, yeah.
Interested, invested into private stocks and stuff. So like that was
okay, gotcha.
Fucking Disney decided they were going to do that goofy shit. Whenever Greg Abbott said, "Well, doing the goofy shit, we're going to take you fucking for 401k programs and put it somewhere else."
Yeah. Yeah, Marvin said the 401k was invented in 1974. It was under another name though. But
Yeah.
They changed it to 401. Yeah, it was. That was shortly after Nixon took the dollar from the gold standard. Yeah, from gold backing, yeah. So yeah, the 401k was in the late 70s, like mid 70s, probably 74. You're probably right around there.
Yeah. So, but anyways, dude, I'm probably going to go ahead and wrap this video up because I got to get up.
Before we wrap it up, I wanted to ask you one more question before we wrap it up, because I knew you were about to get out of here. What are your thoughts as to I know what these I know you say they're like proxy wars or whatever. Is there any way we can stop all this funding to these countries? Is there any candidate that'll come in that'll put an end to this, or do you think we're just kind of doomed to that?
I don't see any candidate putting an end to any of it, right? Like I said, the only thing that I could sit there and think of is that you have your little fucking Albert Pike shit, right? Where it's 2 world wars and shit, where we're going to get into 3 world wars. Well, in that case, we just need to go ahead and get into the fucking, move on straight to the fucking theocracy that they want to implement, which is basically, but it's going to be under the guise of Christianity. And so, that's the only thing that I think that would probably stop a lot of the bullshit. That's why if you're voting for Trump, just go ahead and vote for Trump. I'm not going to try and talk you out of it anymore. I'm not going to go, I'm
personally not voting.
I'm not voting either. But if you're voting for Trump, don't change your vote. Vote for Trump. Because these motherfuckers don't understand that.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you think if Trump gets voted, do you think any of this will change, or do you think it'll remain the same?
He's not going to fix anything. But,
yeah,
it'll get us closer to where we need to go. Because the sheer fact is that they've hijacked media, they've hijacked Hollywood, they've hijacked the economy, they've taken everything away from you. And the only middle finger that you have left is fucking Donald Trump. So by all means, fucking Trump voters need to go out. You need to go out in force. You need to recruit your friends. Just go out and vote for I don't support the guy, but just go ahead and vote for his ass.
Because I feel the same way.
Because none of these other guys, they're not going to do anything. And the State Department has no reason to fucking fix itself unless you hold them accountable. And the closest thing that you have to holding these motherfuckers accountable and really getting at them is voting for Donald Trump. Because the media, government, all the fucking leftist outlets are telling you not to vote for this guy. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You do realize that Trump's indictments just make him more popular. Because one thing that Marvin talked to me the other day, back in the 80s, wrestling term, you had your Hulk Hogan's and stuff, WWE. It was cool to be an American, so they promoted the good guys. Well, if you think about how society has changed to, like you said, a theocracy, everything that's wrong with society is being promoted. So if Donald Trump's being repackaged as the bad guy, this actually helps him out when it goes to the voting polls.
But the whole deal is, it's like, it doesn't matter. They've already inflated the economy. They're not stopping any of the bullshit. They're trying to get you to World War III. They're trying to do all this stupid, ridiculous shit now. We're in the middle of the apocalypse. That's what the internet is. It's another fucking apocalypse. It's an apocalypse because shit's being unveiled on the internet. And it's not going to, Joe Biden isn't going to fix it. Donald Trump isn't going to fix it. But Donald Trump is the best way to sit there and tell the fucking government that you disapprove of them. And that's the whole reason why we went out and voted for his ass in 2016. That's why I voted for him. That's the whole reason I voted for him again in 2020. Is because we've been telling them and telling them and telling them, you need to fix the shit. You need to stop playing these stupid Obama games that you think that you're getting away with, that you're not getting away with. People see you now. People understand you now. You hijack these platforms. Now you've opened up a Pandora's box. People know what you're doing. And the only next stage is, if this doesn't work, then the next stage is they're going to hold you accountable.
Military tribunal, do you think that we should do that?
Yeah, dude, that's, I think
Do you
that,
think it'll get to that point? Do you think it'll get to that point?
to be fair, right, most of the people that I know, right,
Okay.
that are like a majority of motherfuckers too, they believe they need public executions. They want to publicly execute people. I hear this shit all the time on the internet.
Okay.
And I think this is what, you keep going this way, this is where this is going. However, with that being said, my personal position, right, this is my position, which for what good it is, because you've already fucking shadow banned me on every fucking platform.
And
right?
me as well.
Yeah. My personal position, the best case scenario for these people, right? Because
Yes.
like people that are on here right now yelling to the fucking rivers on Twitter and shit, they're like getting the fucking nooses ready and shit. I try to sit there and explain this. If you kill these motherfuckers, right? If you go out there and you execute them, right? Like you want to do, some people have talked about getting their asses into the sun. So, if you do that, right? Then they're dead, they're gone, and they're, what do you get out of it? However, my deal is, most of these people are fucking commie-crats. Most of y'all want y'all's communists. You know what? I'm going to do you a favor. We're going to go ahead and give you your tribunals. When you find you guilty, you're going to get your communism. Because we're going to go ahead and send you straight up to fucking Greenland up there. We're going to build these big facilities to hold you. We're going to exile you to Greenland. You'll get your free health care, your universal health care that you always wanted. You'll get your free food. You'll get your free water. We'll go ahead and make sure that you have all these things, but you're going to give us at least 12 hours a day of work for 6 days a week. We'll give them 1 day off. And then that's what you're going to do. You're going to be exactly what they do in China, working in them fucking sweatshops. That's what you motherfuckers are going to get. There, you've got your now. And then we'll be able to go ahead and use them as a manufacturing hub for these, to manufacture, to lower the cost of like pens and papers and regular items, where we can go ahead and effectively bring down the cost a lot in our, in our citizens. That would be my personal option. That would be me. Exile them to Greenland. Now you're working in a forced labor camp. You get your communism, you get your universal shit. Let's see how happy you are with it. And then we're going to go ahead and use your labor to go ahead and increase our lives, because you've stolen so much from us.
Yeah, I mean, I think they messed this country up so bad. I mean, prodigal. It almost seems like the only option other than death is what you're saying, because they screwed this country up to the point to where it is so bad. The corruption is so bad here at your federal level that it almost seems like there is no other option but to put them to death if they're found guilty. This is like an act of treason. Yeah, this is the ultimate betrayal. I mean, you could even make, I voted for Trump. You voted for Trump twice. I voted for Trump once in 2020. I will even go as far to admit, like, Trump did some things that were very democratic towards the end of his term, especially sign off on DACA, the red flag laws. Also wanting to get the Reparations Act going to win the black vote. That would have crippled our economy if he would have passed a legislation or even, thought about passing that. That would have been more interesting.
But see, there you go. Nobody's going to listen to my fucking exile and forced labor camp shit. The first thing that's going to jump in these motherfuckers is string them up from the rafters. That's what's going to jump into their minds. That's what a lot of them are already talking about. I know so many motherfuckers out there right now that are, feeling the effects of this shit. And the fucking Hollywood people and the fucking media shills out here that are just reading fucking shit, they have no fucking clue. And y'all motherfuckers are going to be the first motherfuckers, all right? y'all are going to be the first ones. So, you can go ahead and say, you know what? I'm being a bigoted. I'm being a homophobe. I need to be shadow banned. You can go ahead and take me off this platform. Yada, 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 yada. But I can tell you right now, that would be my thing, my solution. You want your communism so bad. You want your fucking universal health care. You want all this shit. You stole any of our resources. We'll use you as a forced labor, and then you contribute back to the country.
Okay, thank you, Marvin, for bringing this up, because I know Prodigal because I got to get off. Let me ask him this one quick. That's the question I wanted to ask. Thanks, Marvin. Marvin, a shout out for this. He said, what are your guys' solutions to real estate? Because real estate is a problem when billionaires and corporations are funneling money to cut out on taxes, even though I don't think any of us should pay. I agree with Prodigal on that in his past videos. However, I think that we have a problem when there are billionaires that own 40% of the state of Texas through buying up land. Should we put a limit as to how many units that these billionaires and corporations should buy, or should we just try to find some alternative solution? What do you think to fixing real estate?
I definitely agree. On top of that, I believe that if you're buying up land, particularly here in Texas, and I know you agree with this, that you should to be a resident of Texas first off for so much long, and then you have to live in Texas and contribute to our economy for so long as well. You shouldn't be able to come from California, buy up all this fucking land and create all these fucking housing developments.
And not to mention, Prodigal, China also has it's been buying up property here too. And some of these multi-billionaires from Europe. The crazy thing is, in China, you got to be a Chinese citizen to even buy property over there. But Chinese people come over here and buy property, and now you have to be a U.S. citizen. Make sense.
Deal, right? This is something I'm going to ask. When that dollar collapses, right?
Yeah.
And that dollar is not worth anything, and that land still belongs to you. Because I can guarantee you that there's a lot of motherfuckers here in Texas with a lot of fucking guns that'll be more than happy to come by and relieve you of all your fucking possessions. And whenever it comes like that, like I said, when the dollar collapses, you're going to have a lot of people riot. You're going to have a lot of people organize.
Prodigal, that there is one billionaire. I can't think of that guy. His name's like Rocker or something. I can't think of, not Rockefeller, but there's a guy that owns 40% of the state of Texas property. Like, but one billionaire alone.
And this is something that I told the other guy that I work with. I says, once you start to organize as a militia, right? Let's just say, hypothetically, the dollar's going down. We don't know how long it's going to last. You can't get money out of the banks. All of a sudden, Marvin calls up his people. I call up my people. We get together. We link up. You know what I'm saying? We're starting to organize. I know my job is going to be fucking logistics. I know what my job was in the military.
Marvin, your job could be building bombs and shit because you're good at that.
Well, I'm just saying, we'll know our jobs and we'll already have it out.
If it ever came to that, yeah.
So the deal is, right, this is what I told my buddy. Once you start to get like even 12 million, we'll just even take 12 million, right? The vets get together. We start coming together, doing our jobs, our specialties and shit. Looking over the shit, and we're getting ready to go ahead and take back the country. We're just going to force them all out because we know we can't fix it. Once that happens, you're going to have people like you and various other people. By the time it gets to be about 40 or 50, 60 million people, right? That's a big fucking army. And now we're going to go take out Washington, D.C. Once we take out Washington, D.C., well, now we have an issue. Because I guarantee you the people of Canada, or the government of Canada, that's probably put in by the same people, well, now it's going to be an issue. So we're going to have to go through, take them out. Well, if we take out Canada, well, then we got to deal with Mexico. Might as well go through the Latin American countries and take out their governments too, because they're going to be an issue. They're going to be a threat. And once you get these guys together, once Marvin, especially like the generals and the fucking war generals and these majors and these big time officers, they don't know how to, it's an ongoing war for them. Well, now, whenever we do that, well, now we got to go take out the European countries, right? Their governments are not going to. And then we're going to have to go and take out all those other fucking governments, and it's not going to stop until we hit fucking Tokyo.
So anyway, this is going to be a global issue. Then you're saying once we're in, we got to be all in on this.
That's it. Because yet again, this is another issue. Generally, whenever something like that starts in the United States, right? Once it kicks off here, Other countries are like, well, they're doing it in the U.S. We need to do it here.
It'll have a ripple effect, a domino effect.
It'll have a. So that's if they don't do it themselves. But I could tell you right now that if it goes that way, there's going to be a Pandora's box, and it doesn't matter. Like you and me, we'll be like, you know what? Fuck it. We got the United States. We don't give a shit. But these guys are not going to stop fighting. And especially, like I said, you know, you've been trying to lose weight and stuff like that. You know,
I've lost 18 and a half, so I'm in better shape. I can move around, less back pain.
But now think about this, right? Now you're in the military, or you're in a military unit. You're in the best shape of your life. You have this strong confidence going on. You've already got victory that you can tell your kids whenever you're going to be more invested into doing it a little bit more. Whenever they're going to come back and tell you that, hey, we need to go take out these people here because they're the next threat, you're going to be all up for it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're doing it active, and you're going to be motivated because you've already had one victory. And that's the way it's going to be. It's going to snowball until it goes fucking global. And I don't know, but you know, it's going to be interesting to say the least.
So when it comes to real estate, do you think we should just limit the amount of units they could buy? Because that was my suggestion. Do you think that would work?
Well, you know, they got all these little schemes, and they got all these little lawyers. Like,
because the thing, there's no regulation in real estate. That's the main issue. There's literally no regulation.
But it doesn't matter because regulations only work for people like you and me. You know what I'm saying? Because we're the only ones that are going to be, you know, that are going to abide by the shit. They don't. They'll sit there and say, oh, well, we can buy up, you know, 40 units, right?
Yeah.
And we could buy. We're maxed out. Well, they'll funnel that money into a different company and buy 40 more units. 40 more units.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Find loopholes. So I don't know how much that would fix it, but we do need to, you know, like I said, you know, at that point in time,
well, something has to be done because it's affecting the middle class. Like our property, if they build a subdivision next to you, Paulson, you think it's no big deal. All of a sudden, the value of your property goes up. Your property taxes go up.
Yeah, they have subdivisions coming up here all the fucking time, dude, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
The deal is, right now, we need to focus on getting control of our government, and once we get started with that, then we can start dealing with this shit.
Do you think term limits will be a start as to controlling the government by telling them that you have a limited borrow time there and that you essentially work for us? Because somehow I think down the line they've forgotten that.
It'd be up to me. I'd just get rid of the whole fucking government, and then everything goes back to the states. Where
Convention
if we have
of the states, convention of the states.
We have these issues. We can go to fucking Austin instead of DC. We can go ahead and make DC a fucking parking lot. And then we'll have a centralized government to settle disputes between the states, but they have no real authority. They have no tax authority, no getting into war authority, no monetary. That's just their whole deal, is just fucking settling our disputes.
Well, one candidate, I think Marvin told me, I don't know who it was, Marvin, you said that they impose term limits, 12-year term limits on Congress, Senate, and House. I agree with that. A 12-year term limit? Do you think that's too long, too short? That was one of the bills that was proposed.
That would be okay. Start at least.
The only problem with that is, how do we get these politicians to agree to that, though? Right? Because they don't want to lose power. They enjoy it, you know?
Best thing to do is to fucking really, at the end of the day, I think that the only thing that we can do is just fucking get rid of the federal government.
Yeah.
That's
I think we've all reached that, yeah.
Yeah. Because, yeah, there's just,
because I'm like you. With Donald Trump, I'm like you, Prodigal. I know you want to get out of here, but I'm going to say this one last thing. With Donald Trump, the thing is much as, like, ideally I do like him, and I think he will win the election coming up because he's being repackaged as the bad guy now. So I think that's going to help him garnish more votes because, you know, America loves the bad guy now, right? They love the ghetto, degenerate, ratchet behavior that Donald Trump brings. The thing is I think that Trump doesn't really have to do anything when he gets in office because I think the popularity is already there. They're already declaring Trump the winner by many, like, you know, news outlets and people on YouTube are already saying Trump's already won and he didn't even have to show up. Well, then if that's the case, why should Trump have to get anything done? You know, when he gets in office, he could just do nothing, and his popularity enough alone will give him a pass.
Yeah. But anyways, man, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. I'm about to run out of.
Okay. Thank you for inviting me on, and please keep this video up because I want to upload it on my channel.
Yeah, it'll be up.
Yeah, I'll make sure to subscribe to Prodigal Hills channel. I'll put it at the bottom link, so when I upload on here, you guys will see that, and I'll put his link on the bottom too. Give him credit for this video. And thank you for inviting me on. By the way, I do really appreciate the hour and 54 minutes. We killed it. Marvin said you guys got to do more collabs. Oh, absolutely. We got more coming in the future. Prodigal, he's the one that told me to come today. I said okay.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up, dude. My battery's about to die, and I gotta get to sleep.
All right, appreciate it, Prodigal. Good night, man, and thank you for having me on, brother.
All right. Have a good one, man.
All right, thank you.